Welcome to the latest episode of Charging the Agency Frontier. Today, I'm grateful to have Chris Martinez, the founder of Dude Agency, join us. What's with the name that you might be thinking? Dude stands for Digital Updates Done by Experts. They provide a digital dream team to digital agencies across the globe, and they empower clients to get more done, bring on more clients, and have more time to do the things that they love. Chris is a thought leader, is out there on a lot of podcasts and shows and talking and adding a lot of value. So I'm anxious to have him here and discuss a range of topics beneficial to agencies, including hiring, culture, operations, and profitability. So before we get started and get the party started, give me a little bit of color, background on yourself, maybe your personal background, anything to kind of help the audience connect with you.
Sure, man. How far back do you want me to go?
I guess, maybe not diapers, but somewhere in between.
Okay. Grew up in Los Angeles, or a suburb of Los Angeles, and was never really into technology, really. Fast forward past college, started working in sales, and then 2007 was kind of like a big turning point for me. So my dad died of cancer. He had pancreatic cancer. He was diagnosed and he dead in a month. And then after that, I decided that I wanted to start my first business, which is was a print soccer magazine at the worst time in history to start a print magazine. So I lost everything, and I made a ton of mistakes. And looking back, it was an amazing learning experience. As most people who lost everything will tell you, the greatest lessons that you learned out of that are, the learning experiences. And so, started learning about digital marketing after that. Taught myself how to build websites after watching some online videos, built my first WordPress website, not knowing like anything, over the course of a weekend, then started learning about how to drive traffic. And then in 2012, I started my own agency and, basically saw an opportunity. I was working for an online advertising company. They didn't do websites. So we started this website agency, rolled it out. My team was in the Philippines. I'm still rebounding off of my big loss from my first company. And, grew that business, and our team was in the Philippines. And I was like, you know what, I got to find somebody that's, local time zone that I can communicate with in real time. And I was living in San Diego. So then I was like, I bet you I can find people down in Tijuana, Mexico. So I took the leap of faith, went down there, after kind of figuring it out, failing a few times at hiring, we found the right team, grew that agency. We had over 200 and something clients on retainer. And then in 2017, I decided, now I want to help other digital agencies to help them get what I consider the perfect outsourcing solution using this kind of hidden gem that nobody ever thinks of down in Tijuana, Mexico. And we launched Dude. And then that's grown. And now we have over 40 people, and we're working with agencies all across the United States and Canada, and essentially giving them a team so that they can take on more projects and scale profitably. So that's the very abbreviated version of my little business story.
Yeah, I could tell you're not a talker at all. All right, so let's jump right in. Speaking of hiring, you said there's been maybe some mistakes in the beginning that were made. How do you hire developers?
Yeah, I think that this is a common mistake that people make, because a lot of us agency owners, we kind of fall into this business, right? Like, and I would say like 80% of the people that we work with today, they started out kind of like as a freelancer, or they didn't necessarily, dream of having an agency with a bunch of people. And so, this is kind of like how people get started is they get really good at, let's just say, building websites. And then somebody hears about that and is like, hey, can you do that for me? So they start doing it for that person. That leads to a referral, leads to another referral. And then you have to hire people, basically contractors or in-house staff, to help you to take on all of those projects and manage those projects. And so, us being good-hearted agency people, we want to keep all these contractors and employees, working. So we go on and we take on more projects. So it's just like this cycle, right? And nobody ever really focuses on hiring, like a hiring process, and it's never really taught. So what we've learned very quickly over the past couple of years with Dude is that our people are our most valuable asset. So, we have to find, and the way that our management style works is we need amazing people. I think most people need amazing people, but we need amazing people to make the whole thing work. Otherwise, if there's one chink in the armor, things don't run as efficiently, and our clients aren't getting served as best as we can. And so what we look at is we look at the human being first. So we look at the soft skills first, and then technical skills second, because you can always train for skill, especially technical skill. But, if somebody's got, somebody is a selfish person, or they're mean, or they're just rude, right? That's typically going to be how they are for life. Like, it's very difficult to work that asshole out of the person's mentality. They're always going to be an asshole. Yeah. Hopefully I can say that. Yeah. So, that's basically what we focus on, is like, how do we hire amazing people first? And then, let's look at the technical skills second, which for developers, for the most part, a lot of agencies just look at the technical stuff and then they wonder why they're having so many problems. Why is this person, entitled? Why is this person not wanting to help out on a project that's overdue? And we have a client that's like dying because they need this thing launched, and yet this person wants to go home at 5 o'clock, right? So you look for the attributes of the person at the beginning, and then you make sure that it's a cultural fit, and then you look at the technical skills. And we have like a whole 8-step hiring process that we go through to ensure, tests on tests, lots and lots of interviews, and all of these things help to ensure that we are hiring the best possible people that fit in very, very seamlessly into our culture. And then, of course, they can do all the technical stuff that we need them to do for their clients.
Gotcha. Yeah. And it's important. I mean, in the sense that, you make the wrong hire. It's not just their job at stake. It's, sometimes it's a virus to the agency that spreads, and,
oh, absolutely. I think we've all been there where, we've made a hire, and maybe it was like a rush decision where we had a project or somebody left unexpectedly. We're like, we need somebody in this role. And, you kind of bypass some of your internal red flags, like that gut feeling where you're like, I don't know about this person. And then it comes to bite you in the butt, like 6 months, a year later. And now you're like figuring out how to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yep. What about project managers? Do you have a similar process, or, anything that you look at differently when you're looking at project managers?
Yeah, absolutely. I consider the project manager, like, if you don't have a project manager now, you absolutely need to get one. And if you're a solo person right now and you're wondering who your first hire should be, I always say project manager. A lot of times people focus on sales, but I've found that, a great project manager is going to alleviate a lot of the burden on the operations side, which will then empower you to go and get sales. And the operations manager is going to help you retain clients.
And the best person to sell is the agency owner.
What's that?
I said the best person to sell is the agency owner. So freeing up their time is the most critical thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our project manager hiring process is similar in that we give them, a lot of the same tests. But project management is like, there's 3 things that we look at when we evaluate a project manager. So it's how good are they with time? How good are they with efficiency? And how good are they at being resourceful, like figuring out solutions to problems. So one of the biggest tests that we give to our project managers in the in-person interview that we do is we do what we call the peanut butter and jelly sandwich test. So we have them sit there with us. They're in the same room. And so we have them pretend like we're on opposite ends of the phone. And that person has to describe over the phone how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to somebody who's never made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before. And what that does is we're looking at how detail oriented are they, and then how sequentially do they think? Because this is not a normal, like, the project manager mindset is not normal. Like, you're looking for an abnormal person who can do these things, like who thinks this way and who can communicate this way. And so this peanut butter and jelly sandwich test
So the ideal person, would they start with wheat? Would they just start at the very beginning? First you need wheat, and then you need
Well,
the
how would
flour,
you
and
do
then
it?
you
Let's
need
ask you. Let's put you
then you
through the
need
test.
bread, and then you need the grocery store, and then you need the
So
bread, and then you need the
yeah.
peanuts, and yeah.
So 30 seconds, 30 seconds. Let's just have you start it out. Let's have you pretend like, what's the
Oh
first thing that
no.
you asked me? I'm putting you on the spot here, Robby.
Oh no. Oh no. On my own show. Okay. So to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the first thing you need to do is run down to your local grocery store. Any grocery store should have these items. Pick up peanut butter and jelly. I prefer grape jelly. You might prefer strawberry jelly. Lots of different types of jellies. And then pick up any sandwich bread.
Okay, we can stop
Specifically.
there.
Okay.
So this is what you want to look for, and thank you for participating. I know I'm putting you on the spot. Checking for agreement, right? So like, hey, because our project managers are interacting with our clients, and so just running through a list of things that you need isn't really developing that type of rapport that we want our project managers to have with our clients. So it's what we look for is like, do they ask questions, right? Hey, so we're going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Do you know what peanut butter is? Okay, great. Do you know what jelly is? Do you have bread? Right. So that's one of the big ones that people overlook, and it's kind of like an automatic fail for us. So are they actually asking if the person has the ingredients? Because think about it, like if you're building a website, like they can send you all the information to build out the website. But what if you don't have the domain, like the staging environment information? What if you don't have the hosting information? What if you don't have the domain? Like there's all these little things that you have to ask for and like make sure that they have before we can actually start the project. So we ask, we're looking like, hey, do you have bread? Okay, great. Is there a grocery store? Like if let's say that they say, oh no, I don't have bread. Okay, is there a grocery store nearby? Okay, great. So I want you to plug in your headphones and let's go down to the grocery store. Now I want you to walk in the grocery store and just ask somebody, if you don't see the bread aisle, just ask somebody where the bread is located. Great. Okay, so now they're walking in, they're in front of the bread aisle. What type of bread do you like? Do you like white? Do you like wheat? And they're like, okay, well, I like wheat bread. Or like, I don't know, what's the difference, right? So then let's explain to them what the difference is. It's that granular. That's the type of personality and that's the type of communication that you need this project manager to have. And it's like, from my experience, they either have it or they don't, right? And if they don't have it, don't try and put a square peg into a round hole. That's just not who they are, right? Just move on. So yeah, so if you're doing this test correctly, the entire scenario should take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes.
I like it. So you're saying I'm fired before I'm hired. I'm not a project manager. That's okay. Yeah, no, I like it.
Maybe you know that. Maybe you know that already.
Yeah. No, I do. That's why I'm not a project manager.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. Company culture. Culture is a big thing in the agency world. How have you built a strong company culture? What are the kind of core tenets of that?
Yeah. So again, something that we've kind of invented and reinvented. Our company structure is very different. So we're located here in Mexico. I'm an American, of course, but our company is based in Mexico. And so there comes, different cultural aspects with being in a different country. And so one of the big things that we talk about here is like personal responsibility, accountability, developing great habits. And these are all completely foreign, pun intended, foreign to the Mexican culture. So we have to figure out, how do we attract people that believe in these values and then bring out the best in them? And so, we have our own company core values and things that we believe in. But it all focuses around, like what we stand for as a company, what we believe in, like our mission and that sort of thing. And then we hire people that fit into that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then kind of switching gears, talked a little bit about website projects. So how do you onboard new clients for websites or funnels or digital work?
Yeah. So, we don't do the onboardings for our clients, but I take our best practices from my agency and I teach essentially that to our agency owners if they're having some problems in the onboarding. The onboarding, in my opinion, is the absolute most important step of any project, because if you screw this up, you're going to create a ton of bottlenecks and inefficiencies for yourself as you move further into the process. And the other reason why you want to get this done right at the beginning is because your clients are never going to be more excited to talk to you than the day that they sign the contract. And every day after that, their excitement level to speak with you goes down like this. So we've all been there where, you know, like we're 3 weeks into a project and we have to go back to the client and we say, hey, we need this, or we, you know, I didn't ask you for this, or I need your approval on this. And the client just kind of groans and they're like, Robby, why are you asking? Why are we still talking? Just finish the damn project. We've all been there. Like the clients, and a lot of the times the clients are so annoyed to hear from you that they just ignore you.
Yeah.
And then that's when we have these giant delays where it's like, you know, this was supposed to be done 3 weeks ago and now the client's gone dark on me. And then of course the problem is that you're not, you know, a lot of us are getting paid on a project basis and you've got a payment schedule and you can't get paid because, you know, they have to sign off on XYZ. And then you're in a cash flow crunch because you've spent all your money at the beginning hiring all these contractors, and or if you've got payroll, your payroll, you know, your people still got to get paid. So that's why the onboarding is so unbelievably important. And my philosophy that we teach is that you want, once you get the sign off from the client, you want to remove the burden of responsibility off the client's shoulders for giving you information. We want you to create an environment, and it can be as simple as an interview, where instead of you handing the client a form, they fill it out, you send it back to them, you're actually doing a live communication call with them and pulling the information that you know that you need out of that client. So it's like if I go into a doctor and the doctor says, okay, so how do you want to do this surgery? That would be insane. You would run out the building, right? It's the same thing with that. But unfortunately, like our agency owners do the same mistake. They make that mistake. They're like, okay, so you gave me the money. So now what do you want to do? Absolutely the wrong way to go about it. They're paying you to solve their problem. So take the reins, right? Create a script or something so that you're doing the strategy and understanding that client's business and what they're trying to accomplish, and develop that trust. And then pull all the information that you need out of them so that you have it right there at the beginning of the project and you're not having to go back and forth with the client. So that's like the big shift that we realized in our agency, is like the burden of getting stuff is not on the client, it's on you, the agency owner. And so you need to figure out a way that you can do that. And, you know, we figured it out. So we give all that information to our clients and stuff.
Love it. All right. So moving from onboarding to the project is actually is in gear. What are things you can do to avoid, you know, bottlenecks in the web design process or building a website?
Yeah, over communication is by far the most important one. Typically, everybody thinks that they're a great communicator, but there's areas, like there's tons of little things that you can do to move the process along more smoothly just by over communicating. So when you think about it, you know, like a designer, I've never met a designer that doesn't want their designs to be accepted. And I've never met a developer that wants their projects to be worked on, like to just go on forever. Like both of those personalities want to get their stuff done, right? So why is it that we have these challenges? Everybody has said, oh, my designer's just not, you know, my designer just doesn't understand me, or the developers, you know, they're taking too long. Everybody has said that. And when you look at it, if you go back and you look at the communication, the reason why the designers are taking too long, or they don't get it, is they have absolutely no idea what the hell you're talking about. And the developers have how it's supposed to work. So, you know, key things with design and development is over communicate and be as descriptive as possible and give an example. Don't give 10 examples. Give 1, maybe 2 examples. Because if you give them 10 is as good as nothing. So give 1 or 2 specific examples. List out, like write it out, invest the time. Like this drives me crazy is when people say, well, I just don't have time to give all the instructions. We have done studies that show that if you invest a little bit more time giving clear instructions, you're going to get your stuff back 4 times faster. So I actually did a design project and I sent it to 2 different designers here. And one of those requests, I was super vague. And the other one, I was very, very specific. Now, obviously, the specific one is going to be done fast. The difference in time that it took me to give the vague request and the specific request, it was like 4 minutes for the vague request and 6 minutes for the 4 minutes for the vague, 10 minutes for the specific. So it was a difference of 6 minutes of my time. Now, here's the output. The design that came back on a specific ticket took 2.5 hours. The design that came back on the vague ticket took 2.5 hours. The specific ticket only took me 30 minutes. So 4 times faster. It cost me 6 minutes of my time to be specific. So don't tell me that you don't have the time to be specific, because on the output, you're saving yourself 4x. And I've seen it as high as 10x. So being very specific, writing out your instructions, don't rush it, right? If you think, oh man, I got a deadline, I got to get this out, I'll just have the designer be creative. You're shooting yourself in the foot. Those are the little inefficiencies in your operations that are crushing you. Because it's most likely not going to be like one thing that saves you 8 hours. It's going to be 10 things that save you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is just screenshots. You have to include screenshots and screen share video. Unbelievably important.
Yeah, no, common. It seems like common sense, but it's not common. I mean, from my experience as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so we've talked about kind of during the process. One of the other big things is really how you finish and finishing strong. The way that you finish becomes kind of the lasting memory of the project experience. People remember what's most recent. So how do you approach that? How do you finish your projects strong? Not just check the box, we've delivered a website, but maybe is there anything you do to kind of go above and beyond at the end to just leave a more lasting impression?
So there's kind of 2 answers here. So in our agency, one thing that we used to do is we used to send the clients brownies with a little note. You could go to brownies.com, get them done for like, I don't know, $10. And it's just a little personalized box with your logo and a little note saying, thanks so much, and you can make it cute. You can be like, you're the sweetest client, hence the brownies. But with us at Dude, we're moving from one project to the next. So that relationship, there's always stuff for us to do. It's just a matter of maintaining that communication and us continually learning and communicating with our clients. So like we do daily status updates for all of our projects, it's mandatory for all of our clients for the first 60 days. So we found that 60-day window, and this applies to everybody listening, that 60-day window is crucial. And you need to be communicating with your client every single day, even if it's just like, hey, just want to let you know we're on track to hit the deadline. That's basically what we do. Because the anxiety level with your clients after they sign up is really, really high. They've been burned. They don't know what's going on. They're in the dark. They're starting to second guess their decision to work with you. So that communication just helps to like smooth things over. It's amazing how well it works. It's super simple, right? And then the other thing that we do with our clients is a mandatory once a week call. So it's like maybe 10 minutes. We just talk about open project, what's going well, what they want us to improve, what's the goal for the week. Again, that's mandatory for the first 60 days. After that, it's up to the client's preference, right? So if they want to do it once a month, they want to do it twice a month, whatever it is, they can do that. We will bring them in though. If projects start to drag out or we notice that the instructions are a little bit more vague or whatever, we'll bring them back into the program and be like, hey, like we're noticing that things are taking a little bit longer. People are a little bit confused on our side. Let's do these weekly calls and these daily updates again. Just get things back on track. Maybe some things changed in your agency and we just need to, kind of reconnect. And so we do that. So it's just having that schedule of communication makes a huge difference.
All right. So we're about out of time, but I'm curious, what question did I not ask that I should have asked? Anything else, any tidbits that you're willing to share for our audience, which is obviously a lot of agency owners? Anything off the top of your head?
Yeah, man. I mean, well, it's a concept that I was literally just throwing around in my head yesterday, and we're going to try and create some trainings or maybe some marketing messages around this, right? So and it just so happens the Super Bowl is on Sunday. So, like you've heard the mantra that defense wins championships, right? And in the agency space, everybody focuses on the offense, which is sales, marketing, customer experience can be part of that. Referrals. Everybody typically always focuses on the offense, but defense, which I consider operations, customer experience, communication, fulfillment, retention, defense is really what's going to hold you together in the long term. And that's really where you're going to make or lose all of your money. And so, we are defense, like we help on the defense side, and that frees you up to focus more on the offense. And so, just make sure like you're focusing on the defense, because it's extremely difficult to grow an agency or to survive as an agency if you're having bad retention, if your projects are taking too long and they're inefficient, if you're not profitable on every single project and you're not at the profitability that you want. You need to spend some time and invest in improving your defense. So that's kind of like the big thing that I was thinking about. So
yeah, I love that.
That is what I'll leave you with.
No, 20 years in the agency biz, and I read a lot of business, but I never heard that analogy applied to offense and defense applied to it. And it makes total sense. I think, it's easy to get caught up in the front end and not worry about the back end. That's
just always remember, defense wins championships.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Let's end on that note. Defense wins championships. And then Chris, how do people to reach out to you? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'm pretty accessible. You can go, of course, like our Facebook page, and then Dude Agency, I think is /Dude Agency, and then our Instagram, dudeagency.io. We've always got like fun videos and stuff up on there. And then if they just want to reach out to me personally, I'll just give you my email. It's Chris, CHRIS @dudeagency.io.
All right. Awesome. Very good. Well, I appreciate your time today, sir, and all the good insights, and know that our agency audience, as well as marketers, will love the input, and definitely check out Chris and introduce yourself. If you're in the stable, check out Dude Agency and see if they might be a resource you can lean into. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Great to be here.